A deal that was moving suddenly goes quiet. No objection, no rejection, just silence. The instinct is to push harder. That's usually the wrong move, and here's why. Here is the headline answer. Deals stall because buying starts to feel riskier than doing nothing. Not because your price is wrong, not because a competitor got there first. Research in sales psychology consistently shows that price is usually the excuse and not the reason. The real cause is internal to the buyer. They've gone quiet because somewhere in the process, moving forward started to feel like the uncertain option, and staying put started to feel safe. That's a psychology problem, not a sales problem. And misdiagnosing it is where most deals are lost. Your biggest competitor in most deals isn't another vendor, it's the status quo. Doing nothing carries no risk of a bad decision, no internal scrutiny, no implementation headache, but change does. So when the cost of changing feels greater than the cost of staying still, the status quo wins by default. Four things tend to tip that balance. Risk aversion, where the buyer fears making a visible mistake. Internal misalignment, where the buying committee can't agree. Unclear value, where the business case hasn't landed with the people who control the budget. And decision paralysis, where too many options make it easier to choose none. Any one of these can stall a deal, but the fix isn't to repitch, it's to understand the one you're actually dealing with. There are two distinct types of stall, and they need completely different responses. The first is a process gap. The buyer wants to move forward, but perhaps doesn't know how. Maybe they can't get internal approval, or next steps were never clearly defined. The fix here is practical. Give them a clear path, a business case they can take upstairs, a concrete next meeting. The second is a psychological gap. The buyer isn't stuck on process, they're afraid to act at all. The risk of moving feels too high. Repitching here just makes it worse. You're adding more information to someone who's already overwhelmed by uncertainty. What they need is for the perceived cost of moving forward to come down, not for the product to be sold harder. So before you do anything else with a stalled deal, ask yourself one question. Is the buyer unclear on what to do next, or unclear on whether they should act at all? If it's a process gap, give them clarity and a next step. If it's a psychological gap, reduce the risk of moving, not the price. That might mean a smaller initial commitment, a phased rollout, or a clearer picture of what happens if they don't act. The answer to that one question determines everything about your next move. If that was of value, subscribe to the channel for one real business question answered every video. For the same clarity in writing, the website and newsletter is 5minutebusiness.com.